Hello techies. Welcome to our brand new video series focused on helping you get the most of your experiences in life. Before we start the video, let's know about Upptalk. Upptalk is a live, interactive platform for software training, furnishing robust personalities who could take on universal business platforms.
Great. So we will start talking about Core Connectors. Core Connectors is another integration tool that we have in Workday. We talked about EIB, and we saw that how we can create simple, easy to use, direct integrations between Workday and external systems. So your Core Connectors will also allow you to create one more type of integration. We call that as the Package Connector or the Packaged Integration Solution. Let's quickly remind ourselves about what is, or what are, the different integration methods that we have with working. So there are three ways to access the web services, to get and update the data via an integration system. That is the total. Work-based integration offering three different ways. One way is to use you may use the delivered configurable integrations, like the cloud connectors that we are going to talk about now. You are going to use? You can use your integration tools like EIP and Workday Studio. We can use those to connect and get information from working. Or the customers can use their own existing middleware. Like they may have invested very heavily in some strong middleware product like maybe MuleSoft or IBM integration, Buzz or Web Methods, etc. So if that is already present, then they can leverage that as well and interact with Workday using web services. So that is also something that is possible. But these are some of the different ways of interacting with Workday to exchange information. But basically the underlying technology for each of these three methods is to use what is called as a Workday Web Services. So, if we are looking at the direction of the integration, an inbound integration would be where we are getting the data from external systems. And we are creating an inbound integration. We are creating some web services. And we are updating the information in the Workday. Right. It can be in terms of employee data, payroll data, talent data, financial data. So whatever type of data it is. So we will get it from the external system. We will do some transformation if necessary. And using the web services, we will update the data at the back end, the different functional areas. This is the inbound one. The outbound integration is where we are getting the data from the Workday back-end functional areas, the different business objects, different data sources. We are getting the data using some web services and reports. We are creating an outbound integration. And then we are going to deliver the data to external systems via FTP, SO, or as a Workday attachment. This is what we talked about when we talked about EIBs. We talked about what is an integration, and what is an inbound versus what is an outbound kind of integration. So this is something that we have already talked about. Now we are going to talk about what is called as a Workday Connectors. Now Workday Connectors are pre-built integration templates. Let's think of it as that way. They are templates. They are starting points that we will say from where, we will build and configure our integrations. So connectors are pre-built integration templates that extend this functionality to X2, external systems for X, C and payroll finance spend, etc. All these integrations are hosted and maintained by Workday. So when we say all these integrations, we mean the integration templates. The integration templates are hosted and maintained by Workday. So if so, they are the ones who are going to give you upgrades. If there is a problem, if there is a bug with that particular integration, they are going to work on it. So if we see some issues, we will let Workday know. And we'll open a case. We will let them know, and they will fix it for us. But then, why do we need to learn about this? Why do we need to know about Workday connectors? Because we are going to configure them and use them to create actual integrations and exchange data with external systems. Okay. Now Workday provides two types of connectors. One is the end-to-end connector. Now this end are for a specific named third-party application or service. It is very specific to that endpoint, right? Because the output format, etc. will be exactly as per the requirements of that particular organization. For example, Signal. For example, Blue Cross, Blue Sheet of North America. For example, TurboTax. For example, your ADP. ADP is a payroll vendor in the US and in Canada. So if you are looking to exchange data with ADP typically, what would you do? You will get the data using maybe an EIB or something. And you have to do a transformation. You have to do a transformation to create the file that matches the specifications of ADP. So all customers are doing the same thing. They are getting the information, transforming it, and sending it over to ADP. So Workday thought that, okay, what if we create a template so that everybody doesn't have to create that integration from scratch? Because we will create it for them, and they can just use it. It's kind of a value-added service. So that is why this data started creating with end-to-end connectors. So what we have to do is we have to just take it, and we have to configure it, and send the information to the end system. It is, I would say, around 80 to 85% of your total effort is already done for you. The end-to-end connectors. So if there is an end-to-end connector available, we should try to use it. Then comes another type of connectors, which is our connectors or the package connectors. They are, or some people also call it as Cloud Connect or the core connectors. These connectors are pre-built but not specific to any particular endpoint. They're very generic. So that makes it a good and a bad thing. Good thing is, we can customize that as per our requirement. Bad thing is we need to spend a little bit more effort in configuration, right? So whereas the end-to-end connectors is around 80 to 85% done, for you, the connectors, I would say, will be like 50 to 60% done. So think about the end-to-end connectors, unlike the pair of jeans that you get from the supermarket. So you get the jeans, you fit it. You try it out in the trial room. You see it is fitting more or less, but maybe the length had to be altered a little bit. Happens to all of us, right? Maybe the length is slightly longer than what we are expecting. So then, what we do? We go to a local tailor, or maybe even to the supermarket. They have a tailoring area. So we ask them that, why don't you alter it for us? With minor alterations, that jeans is good to go right. That is the end-to-end connector. But think about a connector. It's about those dress materials that you get in the market, right? Especially for the Indian dresses that our women wear. So you have it, most of it is done, and maybe the embroidery part, the critical things, are already done for you, but then you still have to take it to your tailor and get it made according to your specifications. We can understand that we can relate to that. So that is the connector. A lot of it is done for you, but still, some level of customization, some level of configuration is needed before we are able to use it. Okay, now all connectors. Irrespective of whether they are end-to-end connectors or core connectors, they would need some level of tenant configuration and testing, right? They will need some level of testing always. It is not like it is always foolproof. It is always absolutely correct. Right, I am working on a connector right now. It is for the Canada Life, right? It is a benefits provider. It's in Canada. So we have a connector for that, right?
Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us at sales@uptalk.com.